What's up? You're watching Poots Garage. This week we have a new project in the garage. So this one belongs to my friend Chris. He just couldn't stand to see us out wheeling, having all this fun. He just had to join in. So this is a 1990 Jeep Comanche. These are very similar to a Cherokee, but also very different. I don't know all the specs on it. It's a 4-liter manual transmission. He's got a new set of Patagonia 35s on it, some nice bead locks. I don't know what brand those are. It's got a little rusty short arm lift kit. The rear end has what I believe to be JK Dana 44 rear axle. I'm not completely sure on that yet, but it definitely doesn't look like the standard 44 that might have came in this truck. It has an ARB air locker in the rear. The front should have my old lunchbox locker in it now. I believe that's what got thrown in this thing. So we got a nice little winch on the front. It's not a bad truck. It's very simple right now, very basic build. Not a whole lot going on yet. But she's clean, she's all there. Runs decent. This is the older Renix style 4-liter. I believe he upgraded it to the newer style cooling system to get rid of some of the goofy stuff under here. But yeah, it's a good solid little rig. So he bought this a few weeks before our Rubicon trip. After we went to Prison Hill, he just had to have something. So we ran the Rubicon in this thing. The way it sits right now, which is why you can see the rocker panel is smushed in and stuff like that. It didn't have those dents, and then the rear corners got a little banged up. Tail light got broken out. But it did all right. It did good. This was the only rig that had basically zero issues. Nothing broke. Nothing was funky. He just cruised it through the whole trail, in and out. So the reason that it is here though is we need to upgrade a lot of stuff. First thing we're going to be tackling is these chassis stiffeners, just like I did on the Cherokee. We're going to be adding these plates of metal to the frame. So these Comanches are weird. The front half is still a unibody basically. It's just like the Cherokee, but different. But it has like, you know, the frame is kind of just molded into the body and it's just one big chunk. The rear is weird because the bed comes off, but the rear frame section is still part of the rest of the Jeep. Strange. It's like when you're looking under here, you can see the bed comes off. It's bolted on, it sits on top. So we'll work on getting these plates in. We'll do them a little bit nicer than I did the Cherokee. I'm actually gonna try and grind down all of this undercoating and stuff that'll be behind the plates. Cherokee, I kind of just put it over the top and said screw it. But we'll do this one a little better. But we'll get these plates all welded in. Then we're gonna do, just like the Cherokee, I'm gonna cut the rockers off, which is why it doesn't matter that it's rusty and dented. And we're gonna put the 2x6 steel in there, weld it all up in there solid. It'll have a few extra little things to deal with, like these weird body mount kind of situations going on. But this one will be probably easier to do than Cherokee, honestly. The frame's a little more robust on these. You can see they got a lot more bracing and different things going on. So this one might be a little bit easier, a little bit better. So once you get stiffeners in there, we get the rock sliders in there, all solid in there, and everything's welded in solid. Then we're gonna come inside. We're gonna replace this really wore out bench seat, which bench seats are just not that great for off-roading really. And we're gonna put a couple bucket seats in here, so I'm gonna have to make mounts or modify the ones that are in here, hopefully, to make it work. And then we're gonna add a harness bar behind them to give them like a nice 4 or 5 point harness, whatever it is he bought. And then, yeah, he'll feel safe in this thing again. It does have doors too. He took the doors off before he brought it over here. He kind of just gutted it for me, which is really nice. The seat's already basically just sitting in there and loose. So it should be a fun little project. In the back, we will build a rear bumper because this thing has no bumper, and you can see it's already taken some hits. So we'll build a real basic bumper just like we do the Toyotas, just a single bar. Attach it somehow. I don't even know how to attach this one to the frame yet. We'll figure something out. Got a noisy cat in here. And then it's not completely in the plans yet. It's not like, hey, I want this done now, but eventually we're gonna do a roll cage on this too. It'll be similar to the Cherokee again. It'll be exo cage on the cab, and then we'll just run kickers down into the bed. So it should be pretty cool looking. I think it'll look really rad. And then I wanna do something with this bumper. I hate this front bumper. It is just obnoxious. It's just, what is that? 3x5 square tubing, straight cut, sticks way out. Has no design to it at all. The winch is hanging out the front there, which is really not very strong because it's got a lot of leverage there. But I have some ideas how to make that a lot better, a lot stronger. So I might have to convince him to let me cut that bumper up and redo some stuff on it. So this will be my life for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 weekends. I don't know however long it's gonna take. The longest part is gonna be getting all that old undercoating off and grinding everything down, the whole frame rails front to back. That's gonna suck, but we're gonna get into it. We're just gonna dive in and start doing it, getting these pieces fitted up in there, and then start welding. Have to do that on pretty much the entire frame, both sides, top and bottom. Now, I'm not worried about making it perfectly clean right now. I'm just trying to get that thickness off so it's just flat and smooth now. So you can see there's still remnants of it, but that doesn't matter. What I'll do is I'll put the plate up there and I'll kind of trace out everywhere that's getting a weld, and then I'll actually just grind down all those little individual spots. At least there'll be some sort of paint in there still. And I do have some weld through primer I could throw on there if I really want to get crazy, but I don't know if I'll do that much. But yeah, that's the process. We just got to go all the way up there and then around the front and along the other side. First piece is on. It's only tack welded, but you can see how it is just plating around everything. So we just got some tack welds in there. I'm gonna leave it all tack welded until I get the whole run done, just in case there's a weird spot that requires things to get shifted a little, but there's really not a whole lot of room to wiggle, so I mean, I probably would be safe welding it in and cutting the rest to fit, but we'll just tack weld them all in for now. Man, it's a long stretch of undercoating under there. Look at all that. I gotta scrape all that off. Holy cow, what a mess. Look at all this crap. It's all that undercoating I've been scraping off. But we've got 3 of the 4 sections tack welded in place for one side. So from the back bumper all the way up to about the front wheel here, we got tack welded in place. Nothing's permanent yet, just in case things have to be moved. But, you know, I had to drop the transmission cross member, so there's some extra work there, and take off the rear bump stop, and I don't know, just some random stuff. It is messy though, it is messy. Went and bought a few more different types of wire wheels. I'm gonna try one of these wire cups, twisted wire. Bought another one of these, which I've been using, but mine stopped working very good for some reason, so we'll try a fresh one. And then, I don't know, this is just kind of a random extra thing. I never really used one of these, so we'll see if these work for anything. Maybe not even this project, just something to throw in the cabinet. And then every time I go to the Big R to buy stuff, you know, I gotta pick up the cherry slices. Those are good. So that was all yesterday. I got those 3 sections tacked in. So that's kind of an all-day thing. So today, because it's a new day, I want to do the same thing on the other side. I want to get the other 3 back there done. And then that's kind of my weekend already. I'm already done with time after today. So the next weekend, I'll spend all day welding those 3 on each side and be done with basically that whole back section. And then I can move to the front. The front's got a few more weird things I got to do, and I got to disassemble. So I want to get the rear done, get that cross member back on and stuff like that before I go to the front, and kind of have to disassemble some of the front suspension. Like the shocks have to come out. The springs, I don't know if I can work around those or not. I'll have to look, or I might try and drop them down as best I can. So the front will be a whole nother probably 2 days worth of work. So hopefully if I hit it hard next weekend, we'll be done with the stiffeners, ideally. It's the next weekend. As you can see, I'm already working. I left the face mask on for pizzazz. But we're welding now. We are finally welding in these sliders. Nope, the stiffeners. Check it out. So that's what we got going on so far. We're just slowly working our way around this thing, trying to fill it all in. It's definitely welding better than the Cherokee did, just because I cleaned things a little bit better. Got into a few funky spots that obviously had some undercoating or something that you can't really get out of the corners that you gotta weld into, so you just gotta burn through it. But we're getting it. It's moving. It's the next weekend. We're on it again. Last weekend I ran out of gas right at the end of the weekend, so it wasn't a big deal. So this morning I ran out and got a gas cylinder swapped out, and then I picked up a new shirt. This is an actual welding shirt from the welding supply store because I am so tired of welding all that dirty metal and all that spatter and everything falling and blowing out on me, and just I am covered in burns. Like my body, my legs, my arms, everything's burnt. Little pinhole burns all over, and it sucks. So I'm finally getting over that part. So I ended up buying a actual shirt that should help prevent some of that. It just sucks because it's going to be hot. It's long sleeve, you know, so it's going to be a little warm in here. We're hitting mid 90s temperatures outside and probably 85 in here, I'm sure, by the end of the day. But you know, you hit that breaking point and you just got to add some extra protection to yourself. And during the work week, it was extremely busy because I had a deal I had to go take care of. So I picked up another vehicle, a whole ass truck I bought. So let me show you that real quick. We're gonna go in depth on this later on, but I'll just show you what's out there right now. That is a 2005 Ford F-250. So if anybody needs parts for F-250 Ford, extended cab, not the 4-door, short bed, it's a 6.0 diesel. Pretty much everything's there. I got a few parts that are already accounted for. The axles are not for sale. So, if you know anything and you follow off-roading pretty closely, you'll know 05 plus Super Duty axles are kind of the cream of the crop right now, but we'll get more into that later. So let's get going on this again, welding this horrible metal. I pretty much only got to that end piece there. You can see some welds were good, others are just blowing out. So we gotta do the whole midsection, and then I still need to do the entire front sections on both sides. So hopefully we'll get through all of this weekend. We'll see. Here's where we are now. I have gotten the full side pieces all welded in. The welding is a little better on this side than the other side because I kind of learned some tricks. I think the best thing you can do is just stack tack welds. Just tack weld, tack weld, tack weld, and it seems to make it the cleanest, easiest way to do it. Still got to clean up some spots that were extremely contaminated, but yeah, it's not too bad. We'll be doing a lot of cleanup on these welds and stuff to make them look good, and then obviously paint and whatnot. So we'll play with that later. So now we're moving on to the front. You'll notice the axle is hanging, springs are out, shocks are out, bumpers off. So I'm pretty much ready to start cleaning up all that undercoating up here. So I got to clean all that stuff off. I got to remove this little fender bracket and stuff so everything fits up in there, but the other side I do have to remove the steering box bolts and stuff. They'll be in the way, but yeah, we're getting there. This will be pretty quick and easy to weld, I think. I don't think these welding will be too bad on these little front sections, but man, I can't wait for this to be done. Did I make a video of this yet? I don't remember. So we got the new piece basically tack welded in. Yeah, you just kind of got to do certain areas that have nice tight gaps, and then use clamps and different things to tighten up other areas that need to get, you know, nice and flat and flush. So